Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage global leader, worldwide public sector marketing, Amazon Web Services, Tricia Davis Muffet.
Welcome back, public sector. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you here with us today for our second day, sort of third day of our conference. We've had so much great conversation. We've seen such energy on the trade show floor, so many people wanting to get into all the sessions. I'm sorry we can't fit an infinite number of people into every session. But I just wanted to make sure that you all know how to find all this great content today. We still have lots and lots of sessions going on. We've put a great conference together for you. The best way to find the right sessions is to use the mobile application. So please go to the mobile app store, look for AWS Summit 17, and you can find that application if you haven't found it yet. Also, please mark your calendars, not only for the great party we're going to throw at 5 o'clock today. You will kick yourself if you don't stay around for that, so please stay. Also, we want to make sure that you know we have reInvent coming up. Believe it or not, registration is already open for reInvent, which is happening right after Thanksgiving. So if you are an AWS customer and you have a sales rep, you can get a ticket today if you want to. Otherwise, if you're just chomping at the bit and you want to get in first when it's publicly available, that's next week. So please come join us. We love having our public sector friends at reInvent with us. Also, if you're here from around the world, I know we have lots of people here from other countries. Join us at our public sector summits that are happening internationally. We have one coming in Canberra, Australia, Singapore, London, Paris. We're very excited to have all of you there with us as well. And then finally, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors. Without the sponsors, none of this could take place. We're so appreciative to everyone who is sponsoring, from our small business kiosks and our media sponsors, all the way up to our biggest sponsors. But I just want to give a shout out to those big sponsors who really have helped us and have helped contribute to the program as well. So thank you very much to Intel, who is our diamond sponsor here, to Accenture, who is the platinum sponsor of our executive track, and then to the other platinum sponsors who really have made a great contribution to the program: C3 IoT, Cloud Checker, CSRA, Deloitte, Smartronix, and Telos. Let's have a round of applause for those sponsors. All right, we have a great program for you. I hope you're excited like I am. Let's give it up for public sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Teresa Carlson.
Hey! Wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Look at you guys. I can't believe it. Every year I come out here and I'm like, what is going on? I have to tell the story. Almost 7 years ago, this first event that we had 50 people. 50 people. And we have 10,000 people registered. I think we had about 8,000 people here yesterday. Thank you, all of you, so much. I love you all. Thank you for being here. You're so important to us. All right, well, I sort of already said welcome, but let's get started. You're here in Washington, D.C., in a beautiful city in our hot weather, so I hope everybody's enjoying that. So yesterday, if you were here, we made some really big announcements. We talked about our education program. We have a new competency. We announced Amazon recognition in our AWS GovCloud. We announced AWS, a new region, AWS GovCloud East, that will come on board in 2018. And we announced AWS Marketplace for GovCloud. And by the way, these are all the things that you all have asked for and requested as customers. Not to mention, we've had over 100 technical sessions, breakouts, our GovCloud Cab, our Intelligence Day, Partner Day. So thank you all. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. And I also hope you guys enjoyed Werner's presentation yesterday, where he talked about superpowers. And today, you're going to even hear more superpowers from our customers across government, education, and our not-for-profit. We have so many superheroes. And you all are really helping us make the world a better place, and we're honored to have you here to help support your mission. So let's get started. So how many of you are here from a government agency or work on a government contract? I can't see you, but I know that's most of you, right? I see your hands waving. You're out there solving really big challenges, and you're using innovation to meet those mission needs. And we've really come a long way together. We are innovating, and we are changing the way governments around the world both adopt and utilize technology for their mission, which is really helping them move much faster. And we heard all the narrative about clouds not secure, and believe me, I heard it. In the early days of starting this business, we could not even get in the door without everyone saying, cloud's not secure, we're not using cloud. And today, more of our customers actually come to the cloud because of security, and they understand those principles in terms of the architecture and design. Well, within the U.S., since almost, again, close to 7 years, which I can't believe it, with our U.S. government federal customers who have been amazing in working with us and really taking advantage of the breadth of the AWS services that many of you saw yesterday on Werner's slide, which is a little bit can blow your mind at times. But many of you heard about security, and you've heard many quotes, but we've had great quotes from our customers talking about cloud is more secure than anything they've done. And we've seen our U.S. government customers through areas like storage solutions, innovative storage solutions. And in fact, the Department of Defense is taking advantage of something called Snowball Edge, which is a 100 terabyte storage device. And this device is actually helping our DoD at the tactical edge for their mission as they collect, analyze, and store their data in remote locations. And for them, this ensures both security and full chain of custody in their data. Also, data analytics and advanced analytics. In that area, you're seeing many tools, and you're seeing customers like Fannie Mae, who recently switched to Amazon Aurora which is our MySQL and PostSQL relational database. And they're using Aurora for an automated resiliency across availability zones today to solve one of their most difficult engineering challenges and to help them keep their customers safe and provide that service to them more rapidly. Now let's talk about compliant workloads. So many of you, again, in 2011 when we launched US GovCloud West, we heard from you, starting with NASA, that you needed an ITAR solution, and you wanted a compliant place to host your solutions for US federal government workloads. So we launched that, and a great example of that working today is cloud.gov, which is a GSA, which was created by GSA's 18F, who's been a great partner of ours. And this site actually helps government agencies build, buy, and share technology products. And when agencies build a system on cloud.gov, their system and their application inherits all of our controls through our infrastructure in the FedRAMP moderate compliance controls. And I know all of you here from US government know FedRAMP. You heard from the UK government yesterday on cybersecurity. They look at security a little bit differently, but they still care about all those controls. And of course, with our GovCloud, you can use FedRAMP High, you can use DoD SRG levels 2 through 4, and soon to be 5 and 6. And I'm excited, again, to see that you're going to be able to use these workloads in our US East region, which is going to come online in 2018. Now let's talk about data center consolidation. In the US government, we've had a mandate for quite some time to do data center consolidation. That's not easy to do, clearly. But we do have many of our government agencies now collapsing their data centers, moving from multiple data centers to 1 or 2. And in the past 2 years, Department of Justice has closed many of their data centers, I think close to 600, in fact, or 60% of theirs, I believe. It's close to 60% of their data centers have closed. And they plan to consolidate into 3 data centers by 2019. And the intelligence community, wow, talk about innovators. The intelligence community has been a leading element of the US federal government. We've been working with them now for quite some time, and we built a region for them called C2S. And in fact, John Edwards just recently, I think in a FedScoop program, said, C2S Cloud is the most innovative thing we've ever done. So I love that. And they have been a savvy, innovative, amazing customer. In fact, we had tons of folks, I think, here yesterday. I saw them in their breakout sessions. And that ecosystem in the intelligence community is growing so rapidly, along with the marketplace that we have in C2S. But you know what? Don't take it from me. Don't take it from me. Let's hear from the guy who really knows it the best. Please help me welcome John Edwards to the stage, who is the CIO of the Central Intelligence Agency. Come on up, John.
Thanks, Teresa. All right, good morning. What a venue. They said 10,000 people registered. I think 10,000 people are sitting out here. It's really funny. I came in yesterday to see the venue and also to do a dry run, and I got some feedback. It's feedback I've never gotten before in my life. It said, make yourself bigger. So I went home and told my wife that. It's never something I ever heard from her either. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to talk about the great partnership we have with AWS, the things we're doing together, and the material difference it's making, not just for CIA, but also for the intelligence community. So I put this slide up to talk about why we do what we do, and I'm not going to read this to you, except for the first line. We are the nation's first line of defense. Every morning I get to walk across that seal coming into agency headquarters, and it's kind of a level setter. It's kind of a switch flip to say, okay, game on. It's time to get down to business. And more importantly, it's time to do our best. American public deserves our best. Country deserves our best. And through the partnership we have with AWS and the things we're doing and accomplishing, we're enabling our mission partners to be just that, and that is their best. So let's get into the story. So our cloud, our journey, we started a little over 4 years ago, and we took a chance. Both sides took a chance, us and Amazon Web Services. This had never been done before. We put an entire Amazon cloud region on our space, in our premises. It was risky. Neither side knew how it was going to turn out. Couldn't predict the risk. But I have to tell you, it's been amazing. Now, we named it Commercial Cloud Services, or C2S, for a reason. It's because we want to be like commercial. We don't want to be like government. We want the speed of commercial. We want the speed of that innovation. So it's very important to us why it said Commercial Cloud Services. We wanted the best of breed. That's why we partnered with Amazon. Now, that's a challenge for us, too, because typically, the government, we always find ourselves wanting to try to force our contractors and our partners to act like us. That doesn't work too well. So what we want to do is force us to act more like you. So far, that's going pretty well. And it is a true partnership. At the end of the day, we've asked them to do things that have made them better, and they've certainly done things to make us better. It's the best decision we ever made. It's the most innovative thing we've ever done. It is having a material difference, or making a material difference, and having a material impact on both CIA and the IC. So Andy Jassy talked about superpowers at reInvent. Werner talked about them again yesterday. So I kind of lumped my talk into 4 or 5 of the superpowers and what it's doing, again, to change the way we do business at CIA and again for the community. So the first one is speed. Superman was faster than the speeding bullet. Now through our C2S cloud, we have infrastructure at the speed of mission. Prior to bringing C2S onto our premises, it took us 180 days to provision 1 server. That's amazing. So then through virtualization, we got that down to 60 days. Thought we were doing pretty good. Through some business process reengineering, we got that down to 20 days. Now we're smoking. Down through AWS and through our C2S, we're down to minutes. That's amazing. Again, that's a game changer for us. So speed is one of our superpowers. Next is power. So Superman was more powerful than a locomotive. We now get to harness the relentless power of Amazon Web Services and their partners at a pace unprecedented. We're bringing new services and new features into the C2S cloud at a velocity that now matches commercial parity, something we never had before. In fact, just the opposite. We would spend tens of hundreds of millions of dollars investing in technologies and always be 5, 6, 7 years behind the power curve. We now have commercial parity with this cloud. Marketplace, again, another game changer for us. We now have our own version of Marketplace inside of our cloud. Now we got some catching up to do as far as the number of applications. We're up to a little over 100. We've got 70 more in the pipeline. So I encourage you, if you're not in, to apply. It's a great way for us to get access to your application and try them. So for example, in the past, if I want to bring a new application into the agency, I would do my market survey, I'd pick the one that I thought was the best, I'd go through acquisitions, 9 months later that application would show up, I'd try it only to find out it didn't work. Start the process over again. Now with these applications in Marketplace and our developers on the cloud, developer can download an application in minutes, try it against the data sets or the corpus of data they want to try it against. Does it solve my mission? Yes. Okay, now I can lease it for as long as I want. If it doesn't, I blow up that instance, I download another application, and I try it again. Again, the speed of mission. It's amazing. DevOps. The other thing we put in our cloud is a DevOps factory. So all the software packages our developers need, we got rid of all our developer workstations. We don't need them anymore. From our standard desktop, you can hit the cloud, you can have access to all your development tools, download them, and download these applications, write code. It's made us not only write higher quality code, more consistent code, but much more secure code at a much faster flash to bang as far as delivery. We now have over 4,000 developers in our DevOps factory across the community, all writing on the C2S cloud. Next superpower, scalability. Superman was able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. We can now scale vast infrastructures in seconds. So our old model, when we provision or stand up a new application or capability inside of our data center, we would have to do the calculation and say, okay, how much do I need for the peak where I think this is going to maximize when it needs to run, and we'd have to build to that. Only to find out that over the average time of running that application or that capability, we're used about 12% of the time, so 88% of wasted resources. Through C2S, it's our building block. It gives us unlimited capacity. It gives us automated load balancing. It gives us instant provisioning. Our cloud, our adoption of the cloud across the IC is growing at 208% year over year. That's amazing. That's game changing. Let me give you a couple of value statistics on that. So 3 ways we get value out of the cloud. We get savings, dollar savings. We get cost avoidance, but more importantly, we get mission impact. So a couple examples, not specific, but kind of the bumper stickers. We have applications that have gone in, one collection of apps in particular, that was spending thousands of dollars a day to run in the old data center is now hundreds of dollars a day to run in C2S. We had applications now that don't have to recapitalize their hardware. That's the cost avoidance value. And then finally, mission impact. Things that used to take months, as I mentioned earlier, now take minutes. Things, complex searches on complex data sets that used to take hours, now take seconds. Again, real impact to mission. Strength. So strength to know superpower, invincibility. I'm never going to say that anything you do in the cyber world is totally invincible, but this is pretty close. Here's why. We took this battle-tested, hardened cloud that's on the outside, that's connected to the internet, dropped it behind our guards, gates, and guns, and we're not connected to the internet. So already, I think, we're a cut above from a security standpoint. Then we, working with our Amazon partners, develop more security overlays, controls, and audits than we need to put on our system for the things we need to do. Again, enhancing that already strong, defensible cloud. So with that, I would argue and say this is probably the most secure thing there is out there. And our mission apps, we have all our business apps in, our mission apps are coming in. Again, it's a game changer for us, and I don't think there's anything out there that's any more protected. So durability. Just by the fact that we have a complete region, we have 3 availability zones. They're basically 3 geographically dispersed data centers. What that does for us, that separation gives us fault isolation, already built in. If one of those zones fails, it does not take down the entire region. The beauty of that is that's built in. We don't have to think about it anymore, and that's the durability. And finally, one of my favorites is truth. So I always kid in Teresa, Wonder Woman. And so if you remember, Wonder Woman had the lasso of truth. So I talk about truth because Andy talked about X-ray vision at reInvent, okay? The power to see your data or see inside your data. I think truth takes it one step further, and that is to get the value of, or the context, or the meaning of the data. Our artificial intelligence and machine learning, they're changing the way we do analysis. We're now discovering things that were never before discoverable. We are now integrating data where before we co-located a lot of data. And I'll give you a great example of one capability that we've put together inside the cloud that's changing the way we do analytics and complex problems. Inside our C2S cloud, we've now built these protected virtual private clouds, these bubbles, if you will. And what we put in them, we have a hard problem to solve. We'll put data scientists, developers, targeters, and analysts, and let them work inside this space. And a great example, a couple months ago when we first kicked this off, we had nothing on day 1, and by day 7 we had 90 core of processing. We had a little over 20 terabytes of data. We had 20 applications that had been brought in as needed, as required. And we had analysts and, like I said, developers, data scientists, and targeters all working together on a hard problem, writing code in real time as they sifted through the data and did other analysis on the data. And what came out of that was some amazing discoveries. Again, something we never would have been able to do before. And the kind of the hot wash afterwards, we said, that was pretty good. And this is something that's wash, rinse, and repeatable. And more importantly, we just kind of sat back, and one of our principals said, you know, we're going to remember this day as far as this capability, and it was a game changer for the community. So again, innovation at the speed of cloud. Last thing I want to mention from the artificial intelligence standpoint is, you know, some of those new features or new services coming out in the AI world, like Lex and Poly, you know, from us that have to make sure that all of our systems are available and accessible to all of our workforce. We have workforce with special needs, and I think Lex and Poly are going to revolutionize that. I've worked with the current tools out there, and yes, it meets the letter of the law. We can check all 34 boxes, but if you ever sat down and had to use it, you'd say, I can't use this. So things like Lex and Poly, let's say we have a blind officer sit down and say, okay, tell me what's in my inbox today, and it tells you. What documents are priority, it tells you. It reads them back to you. That's going to be huge, and we're excited about what we're going to do for accessibility. So those are I want to run past just 6 truths and what they're doing for the community. Again, it's been a game changer for us. It's like nothing else we've ever done before. It's making a material difference across CIA and the IC. And the cool part is, we're just getting started. I mean, we're just scratching the surface as far as the power of this thing. And if those of you who went to reInvent, and even here, and the new services coming out, I mean, it's almost mind-blowing as far as the capabilities that are out there that AWS is developing. The great part about C2S for us is the ones we like, the ones we need, we can bring them right into our region and have them available for the community. So thank you very much. Thank you for letting me tell our story, and have a great summit.
Does he not have superpowers? Wow. Oh my gosh, are they doing amazing stuff? Like, I don't need to say anything. I guess I can just leave now. This is like, I love hearing what our customers are doing. And by the way, this agency, across the intelligence community, the work they're doing is truly mind-blowing. And like I said, I think we've trained close to 6,000 people in this community, and they are doing just incredible work. So thank you, John, and thank you to the entire intelligence community for your partnership with AWS. All right, let's jump into international government. And that's why we invited Craig Fox from the Australian Taxation Office to share his story. And I got to meet with Craig yesterday and hear what they're doing. And their story also is pretty mind-blowing. So I'm going to get off the stage again and let me welcome our customers who tell it better. Craig Fox, who's the Assistant Commissioner of the Australian Taxation Office, to stage. Come on, Craig.
Good morning, everybody. There's some Australians in the crowd. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. It's a little bit confusing for us. I'm from the tax office. People usually cheer when we leave, not when we arrive. So we're off to a pretty good start. This is about the best day ever so far. Thank you very much for being here. I had a really good day at Summit yesterday. I'm looking forward to a really good day today. I wanted to thank Teresa and my local team, Andrew and Selwyn, for the invitation to come along and have a talk to you about our cloud journey. Our cloud journey is one that started about 3 or 4 years ago. We think it's a pretty cool story, it's a pretty interesting story, and hopefully by sharing it with you over the next few minutes, there's a chance for you to draw some pearls of wisdom out of our story that can help you along the way. Now, our cloud story, as I said, started about 2013. Now, I've been in Washington since late Sunday night. I've been walking the streets of Washington constantly. And the one thing that struck me over the last 3 or 4 days is just how much Americans love their IRS. Everywhere I go, people have been stopping me saying it's a fantastic relationship. And it's made me somewhat envious about the way in which the ATO operates, because about 3 or 4 years ago, we were about the most unpopular organisation on the planet. But luckily for us, we appointed a new CEO. And when our CEO arrived, he came out with a mantra about one key word, and that word was reinvention. He challenged all of us in the ATO to think about the way in which we could reinvent ourselves. And he particularly focused on a range of characteristics. But the 2 major characteristics that resonated with us in the IT department were the need to provide citizen-centric services, and also about making sure those services were delivered digital by default. So a really strong message, 2013, the need to be focusing on our clients or our citizens, and to move towards those services being delivered digitally. Now, at the time, the tax office, we were about as traditional a data centre organisation as you could be. So when we heard those messages, challenged by our CEO, we knew we had to go through an IT transformation. It was really clear to us that the way in which we'd been operating for the last 30 or 40 years, when we thought about how we needed to project towards the future, we needed to change. And interestingly for us, there was never any doubt for us that cloud was going to form part of that IT transformation. The important point, though, was this didn't start from an IT perspective. Our cloud journey started from a business perspective. Now, when we got into our cloud journey, and the good thing about coming along to a summit like this is you get the chance to think about what you've done over the last 3 or 4 years. And for us, we've got it down to 3 key things. The first of those is culture, the second of those is vision, and then the third of those is action. And while we've had to address a range of cultural implications in our organisation over that period of time, these 3 are the ones that stand out the most to me. People, partners, and security. And I want to spend just a little bit of time about security. I really loved Ian's point yesterday about the Ministry of No. We call them the Department of No. The people that any time you have a really good idea, the first thing they tell you is no. And for us, the single biggest no conversation then, it still is a little bit now, is around security. So for us to get started on our cloud journey, this was the number 1 issue that we needed to address. We focused on 3 key things. The first of those is data centre sovereignty. Our data centres need to be on Australian soil. That was okay. The second one was we needed to take protected data off the table. We don't necessarily agree that it should be off the table for a long period of time, but we were happy to take it off the table if it allowed us to focus on everything else being on the table. And in our business, there's a lot of data that we need to focus on that's below the protected level. So we took protected data off the table. The third one was we got our security people into a room and we challenged them to design a set of requirements for the cloud that would meet what they thought it needed to be. But we gave them 2 challenges. The first thing we said was it needs to meet a client-centric digital organisation. It can't be some utopic standard that we can never ever achieve. Okay? They went away, they worked with our AWS team, and lo and behold, we were able to create a security posture that meets the needs of our federal government. But then we did a second really interesting thing. We asked them to take those cloud requirements and run an assessment against our current infrastructure security platform. We have spent more days worrying about our on-premise infrastructure than we have about our cloud. And I guess, like a lot of people in the audience, we've had a couple of instances in the last 2 to 4 weeks where we've been able to easily agile respond to a couple of security threats in our cloud environment, and we're still working through how to resolve those in our on-premise infrastructure. If you're driving a cloud transformation on a cloud journey, you need to own the cultural conversation. You need to shift the no's to yeses. That's the first step. Let's now talk about the second step. This is our cloud vision. We call it the purple horseshoe. It's clearly got purple in the colouring and it's shaped like a horseshoe, so there's no rocket science about how we thought about this. This became, and this is about now maybe 2.5 years old, and it's not so much about the content. What this is, this became an open invitation, an opportunity to all of our partners to be very clear about where the ATO was heading. And when we shared this vision with our partners, and we shared it with the partners that we had a commercial engagement with, and we also shared it with the partners that we didn't have a commercial engagement with, we asked one simple question: show us where you add value in that ecosystem. It's all the question that we asked. If you could find a way to answer that question yes, we guaranteed you work. We didn't care if we had a contract with you or not. We offered the invitation, and if you showed us that you could say yes, then we guaranteed you some work. Interestingly enough, the one organisation then is the same organisation today that most espouses the values that we're looking in partners, and that was AWS. By sharing this vision, we changed the second key cultural level, all about our partners. At some point in time, you've got to stop talking, don't you? You've actually got to start doing something. So if the first one was culture, and the second one was values, the third one was action. I was really pleased to hear Werner say yesterday, if you want to get started, start with infrastructure and start with dev test, because that's exactly where we started. Okay? Infrastructure as a service, development in test environments. A couple of things happened for us on our cloud journey. We saw all the benefits that cloud espouse. We saw some economic benefits. We saw project life cycles being reduced, infrastructure provisioning times reduced as well. All the benefits that have been talked about were all achieved. The most important point, though, about starting with infrastructure as a service was that it liberated our people. We had no idea how frustrated our workforce were, our developer workforce, working in an IT environment that they considered archaic. The minute that we opened up cloud, we saw significant increases in employee and staff engagement. It gave us that final cultural lever that we needed to change, the one about people. Unfortunately, though, and we were patting ourselves on the back at this time, the Department of No is ever present, and they challenged us about, it's really good to be able to do an infrastructure deployment, but what about applications? On the screen right now, you will see a couple of key mission-critical applications to the tax experience. One is called ato.gov.au, which is our website where people can get some information about their tax return. And the second one of those is our My Tax application. It allows you to lodge your tax return electronically on your smartphone or smart tablet. This is what I consider to be the quintessential client-centric digital experience. And on the 1st of July 2017, all of that is running on the AWS platform. Infrastructure tick, application tick. Our cloud journey is going ahead in leaps and bounds. Last point. This is the slide that I created. Next, as you can see, it's technology savvy. It's a blank screen. The intention being to actually say, we're at the stage right now where it's a blank canvas. We need to start thinking about not where we go on our cloud journey, but how we continue to work in our cloud journey. I think we've got two key challenges. The first of those is to move towards platform as a service, and we're already working with our AWS colleagues about that. The second major challenge for us is how we bring about that really strong concept of a digital marketplace. And from the Australian point of view, we're seeing that digital marketplace characterised by terms like high availability, high resilience, high security, high scale. And it needs to be, particularly now, and I think in the government sector, a 24/7 non-stop service. That's the next challenge for us. It's a challenge that we're really excited about. It's a challenge that we're looking forward to. It's also a challenge that we have great confidence in. And our confidence is based on 2 points. The significant investment that we've made in our AWS platform and the even more significant investment that we've made in our AWS relationship. We are really excited about the next steps. I want to invite every single person in the room down to Canberra in August, where you'll be at the world's best summit you could possibly imagine. Thank you very much for listening and enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.
So you can all come with me to Canberra for our summit down there, and I'll take you and show you the kangaroos, which I got to see a couple of years ago. Thank you, Craig. That was an awesome story. I really appreciate him coming all the way here to tell his story about how they're taking advantage of AWS. So now let's talk about local and regional governments around the world. Cities and towns have become hubs of innovation for both and with their citizens. And I want to share a few big trends with you here today. First, we've seen the rise of connected or smart cities. And for example, a couple of solutions I'll tell you about. GridSmart. GridSmart collects real-time traffic information to improve safety and maximize efficiency at intersections, traffic intersections. And Philips Touch City allows cities to monitor how much energy lights are using and which lights need to be repaired. So that's an app just quickly that you can utilize in a connected city environment. And there's many, many more of these. Next is justice and public safety. And when we think about justice and public safety, agencies are really innovating rapidly in technologies to improve citizens' lives and citizen services. And for example, ShotSpotter I think is actually used here in Washington, D.C. and delivers real-time gunshot notifications to law enforcement about the exact situational awareness, and so they can dispatch their individuals more rapidly. And the results around this are pretty phenomenal, and the statistics that shows if you can get someone there faster, you can prevent a fatality. And Utility Inc., which is the creator of body-worn police body cameras, provides real-time communications for situational awareness during those critical times for our police officers. Next is being data-driven. Local and regional hubs are using data for more informed decision-making. And AWS, with their tools, everything you saw yesterday, we help them now utilize this data to collect, analyze, and store it, where previously, and you even heard from John, a bunch of siloed data. And today we can collaborate, utilize those in data lakes, and really create much more value out of the data that's been collected. And all of this together provides smarter, more efficient information and situational awareness to cities. The next area that I want to talk about is our partner-driven innovations that we see for next generation. And in this space, partnerships really help us drive these innovations so much more rapidly. And companies in AWS are working with companies like Socrata, MorphoTrack, and Aprius. And our work with these partners in local and regional locations inspired us to launch something called City on a Cloud. And again, we come up with these ideas. The team and I, we sit and was like, what do we do to sort of make sure that our customers' solutions and partner solutions are showcased? And we said we believe that cities would be one of the major hubs of innovation because they can move fast. And we are really seeing this, but we want to help impact that moving fast because we think that's also a superhero skill. So this is our 4th annual city recognition or year recognition for our City on the Cloud Innovation Challenge. And this year we are also recognizing not only the city innovations, but school districts that are innovating, which has been a lot of fun. The team said they really had a lot of fun going through all the nominations. We award winners in 3 categories: best practices, partners in innovation, and the Dream Big category. Winners of this receive AWS credits for their projects, PR and marketing support, technical support on their application if they need it, and then they get to join an elite community of innovators who've won this award previously. So now I'd like to announce our winners, and we're going to have a little ceremony later, but I'd like to have each of these groups stand as we announce the winners. In our best practice category, winners have deployed an innovative solution to solve public sector challenges. So please stand up when I call your name. The City of Virginia Beach in Virginia, Transport for London in the UK, Solo Dev in Seminole County Public Schools in Florida, Lawrence Police Department in Indiana, Intermediate School District 287 in Minnesota, and Caltrans in California. Our next category, our Partners in Innovation Awards, go to tech companies deploying solutions to solve public sector challenges. Please stand up when I call your name for Partners in Innovation. Anthemis Technologies from France, Blue Spurs from Canada, Learn Zillions from the US, Tolemeth from the US, and Exact from US. Congratulations to all of you. And finally, in our Dream Big category, this recognizes cities or schools who have truly big ideas that impact their communities. Would our winners please stand up? Louisville, Kentucky Metro Government. Yay, Louisville, that's where I'm from, Kentucky. Tulsa Public Schools, Oklahoma. City of Iowa City, Iowa. Marmon Academy in Illinois, City of Ottawa, Canada, Poughkeepsie, Washington State, Seattle Public Schools, Seattle, and City of Las Vegas, Nevada. You guys all stand up. Everybody stand up, all the winners. Give everybody a big round of applause. Thank you, guys. I love your innovations, and I really hope we continue to get amazing entrees into the City on a Cloud Challenge. Every year I'm like, who won, who won? I get so excited about this. Now I'd like to tell you more about our not-for-profit and our NGO or non-governmental organization customers. This really spans so much broadly around the world. Everything from health, humanity, and environmental. These customers are truly working around the globe to build capacity for critical services in need and truly making the world a better place. Let me tell you about a few of these projects. First, we've seen customers take advantage of serverless computing. For example, Global Giving in the UK uses Lambda functions to automate and scale their tasks that were previously done very manual from individuals as part of their data review. Along with, they use AWS step functions, and step functions are what helps them automate the entire analysis and decision-making chain in order to improve cost and improve turnaround time. Artificial intelligence. We have customers, you heard some here on stage this morning, using artificial intelligence to solve humanitarian issues. And our customer, Thorn, is dedicated to combating human trafficking, which is horrible, horrible instances of human trafficking going on. The team, in fact, my not-for-profit team just had a day that focused on this on Monday, where we had many of these customers and many of our partners to come together, where I had the opportunity to hear from the Thorn CEO. And they're using facial recognition software that recognizes signs of aging, that can identify children from photographs. And they're also working with the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children's database on missing children that helps to match these images as they mature from online ads and solicitation. And many of these that come from the dark web. This is a huge problem that we need to help solve. And we need to take advantage of technologies to make this move faster, which was our whole discussion that we had on Monday. For health organizations, precision medicine has become a major function. With our amazing partner, and Nancy Brown, who I wish could be here with us today, from the American Heart Association, last year we launched a global secure cloud for decision-based precision medicine. And this has become a cloud-based data marketplace. And this is going to help researchers today revolutionize how they come together and use clinical outcomes jointly for faster analysis and cures that we can do for heart diseases. And this is just one community that can now come together, access and analyze rich data sets to really accelerate our solutions on cardiovascular disease, by the way, which is still the #1 killer globally. So if we can improve and speed diagnosis and outcomes, then this is going to be amazing. Even by 2% or 3%, it's going to help us move faster. And finally, data analytics is also significant for not-for-profits. Last year, you may recall, Michael J. Fox Foundation CEO was here on stage at this conference. She talked about the use of IoT technologies to collect, store, and analyze data for Parkinson's research. And now we have another great story for you today, the Ocean Conservancy. They're also using the power of analytics tools in their mission. And here to tell that story better than I can is Andreas Merkel, who's the president of the Ocean Conservancy. Please join me in welcoming Andreas to the stage.
Thank you. I don't need this, no. How you doing? Now for something completely different, which is the ocean.
what we're doing with AWS is we're trying to figure out whether climate change is going to break the ocean. Or to be technically a little bit more precise about it, whether the multiple synergetic and compounding stressors of climate change are going to push the ocean to a potentially catastrophic tipping point, not in the next century, but within 1 or 2 or 3 decades. That turns out to be a wicked problem. It's a very difficult problem, which we cannot solve without the massive capacity of AWS. So let me take a step back, literally, and let's take this problem from the beginning. You and I go to the beach for solace. We sit in the dunes and we look out and we look at the ocean, and it seems a soothing, wonderful, simple thing, a big slab of gray or blue. But of course, intellectually, we know that our senses are very much deceiving us. If we could roll the... what really is happening is what you see here to your right and left. It's a glorious mess. It's an incredibly complex system. It's a complex physical system in this beautiful animation here, which looks a little bit like a Van Gogh painting. It shows you the Gulf Stream, how it's generated in the Gulf, and it sweeps around Florida. By the time it hits Carolina, it's moving at about 9 million cubic meters per second. By the time it gets into the mid-Atlantic, it's about 20 million cubic meters per second. There's endless subvortices, subcurrents going on. It is one of the most complex physical systems that you can imagine, hydrodynamic systems imaginable. And it's only one of so many. And it distributes energy around the world. It makes Europe as we know it possible. It has huge implications on climate and so on. Now, as we dip below the surface, we will notice that it's not only, of course, the surface vectors that are going on, the surface forces, but there's incredible vertical forces going on. There are massive amounts of heat exchanged up and down from the equator to the Arctic and back, stirring up the layers, bringing up nutrients, distributing energy, making weather. I mean, just the physical system of the ocean is a stunningly complex beast. It feeds a biological layer on the other side, which is equally as complex. This is a beautiful animation of a kelp forest in California. Everything, as you know, is connected in the food system. The ocean makes about 100 million tons of microbes per hour. And those 100 million tons feed about 800 million tons in total of fish, of predators. So the amount of energy transfer that's going on is insane in the ocean. And it's all fed, of course, by physical forces, by the transfer of nutrients, by the bringing up of nutrients. And so the physical side and the biological side, are working together. And so now we're taking this complex system, which we all need. We need it because it makes half of the oxygen that we breathe. We need it because it absorbs 93% of the energy, the excess energy of climate change. We need it because it makes food. We need it because it distributes energy and makes our weather bearable on this planet. We take that complex system and we stress it. We run the largest science experiment ever devised, except it's a completely uncontrolled science experiment. We're stressing it, we're adding heat, we're adding acidity, we're overfishing it, we're adding plastics, we're adding pollutants. And so the question is, what will it do? Now, it's very interesting what complex systems do when you stress them. Because the more complex and the more interconnected the system is, if you put an even stressor on it, even if it's a gradual stressor, at first it's actually pretty resilient, right? Because when one thing goes up, some other thing goes down. It's very interconnected and it evens itself out. At a certain point, though, the whole thing tilts. Typically, the system at some point goes over a tipping point, and then it crashes hard. It crashes catastrophically, and it crashes very quickly. And if we go back in time to geologic eras when there was a similar change going on, like 50 million years ago, for example, there was a time when the CO2 content in the atmosphere went up to about 800 parts per million, just like now, when the temperature went up to 6 or 7 degrees, just like it's now going to do And the ocean changed in very fundamental ways. We had mass extinction events, and major currents went north when they used to go south. If that happened again today, it would be catastrophic for us, for our civilization. And when it happened fast, within decades. So it's pretty reasonable to ask, is that going to happen again? We need to know. As ocean conservation people, we need to know. We need to know as climate people, because the feedback mechanism between the ocean and the climate system is, of course, intense. You could imagine what happens to the climate system if the Gulf current doesn't flow anymore, or if the primary biological productivity of the ocean crashes and you don't have uptake of carbon anymore. The feedback back to the climate system is insane. But now we have an analytical problem of daunting proportions, because of course you can't take all the data that we have about the ocean, oceanography data, put it in a big data hopper, turn an AI crank, and out comes a prediction of what the ocean is going to do in 20 years. That would be like predicting the weather on April 27th, 2026. We cannot do it. There are limits to what can be done. So with AWS, what we're doing is we're applying some of the tools from other disciplines which are analogous in the sense that they have to somehow take an incredibly complex system like an economy or like the internet and keep it within the bounds of some level of control. We're taking their tools and applying it to this problem. And the way that's basically we're doing it is we're looking at the ocean as a system of discrete states. So a state may be the population of sharks, or the population of plankton, or maybe the temperature. Each one of those states, which collectively make up the ocean system, each one of those states wants to be in an equilibrium, but can't quite be in equilibrium because every state is connected to so many other states which are tugging on its equilibrium. So you have this basically a network model of deeply connected states. Now, we then apply pressure to that model. We make it hotter, we make it more acidic, all the things that climate change does, and we see what happens. And in fact, we apply the world's largest Monte Carlo simulation. You can imagine that with 70 or 80 states, infinitely connected, over a time period of 50 years, with full sampling, and every one of the samples is a Monte Carlo model of every connection with everything else, the data intensity of this is completely crazy. And AWS does it beautifully. And we are now able to do things that we were not able to do even 5 or 4 years ago. And the important thing is that the climate modelers really need this information, because the big climate models that we all rely on are not very good at predicting failure. They're good at predicting equilibria. They're process models that do equilibrium projections. We're doing basically a state model that predicts whether or not you're going to have catastrophic failure. And it's in the interplay between the two that really the good stuff is. So the climate modelers are really interested in what we're doing on the failure models, and of course vice versa, and we're working together. So this is going to be incredibly important to us as ocean people, and to us as citizens, and to us as people who are deeply worried about climate change as well. In closing, what I'd like to say is I get often asked as an environmentalist, do you still have hope, and so on. One of the things that really gives me hope is I have a strong sense that the rate at which we're starting to understand the complex Earth systems and their dynamic behavior is faster than the rate at which we're screwing them up. That our understanding is now getting to the point where we're really understanding the dynamics behind it, and that we might be getting ahead a little bit in our fight to really understand what it's like to live with 8, 9, or 10 billion people on this planet and taxing it the way we do. And the capacity of an AWS to come in here with the full force of their cloud is just absolutely essential in it. So thank you very much for your time.
Another superpower, wow. Thank you, Andreas. We're also finding other ways, other types of innovations to support our not-for-profit customers and encourage workforce development. Yesterday, there was a panel from a group of our partners talking about how new ways for workforce development and how do you encourage different models, because there's so many job opportunities in tech. And how do we take that not just here in the US, but take it around the world into underserved areas, even as an example. And one that we've been working with is digital divide data, which is near and dear to my heart. And they have been working with us now for a little over a year, to train and certify students in Africa and put them to work, not just train and certify them in a short period of time, but put them to work on projects. So I'd like to take a moment and let you watch their story.
The National Museum of Kenya is a custodian of Kenya's natural and cultural heritage. Kenya has been christened the cradle of mankind because of our extremely rich fossil record. It's unparalleled anywhere in the world.
DDD is a 15-year-old social enterprise providing IT services to companies across the world. As a social institution, we are providing employment and education to disadvantaged youth.
Technology is fit for any person. We are all capable.
My passion is writing code and database administration.
My desire is to see our knowledge, our understanding about human ancestry, reach out to as many people as possible.
Through our engagements with Amazon and Intel, we had the idea to use the Amazon cloud to digitize their artifacts. So we created the AWS Academy for Kenya.
Our students digitize this content, provide web development, content management. Knowing this technology is going to elevate their career.
This is a dream come true. Conservation and the virtual museum created with the hands of Kenyans themselves.
The social impact of our work is not only helping one individual,
it's adding value to not only the nation, but to the rest of Africa and also the world.
Yay! What that doesn't tell you completely is about a third of the students in the first cohort had no technical skills. And through a very rigorous 6-month training course, they were able to pass our sysadmin associate. So I talked to Frank just yesterday, and I believe we have 100% of the students down in the first cohort that have passed this certification. Is that not amazing? And they have a job. I just am so, if we can do this more and more, help me make this happen. Let's just do more and more of this. There's so many jobs out there, and the skills are really needed. And what Frank and I talked about was next year, maybe at reInvent, we want to get some of these students here with us so they can tell their own story. Now let's talk about innovations in the classroom. I have always said that education is the #1 vertical, and it really is. If we don't start early and we don't continue education, we're not where we need to be. So we have a very deep focus across Amazon, and specifically, of course, my team, on education. And there's so many superpowers going on in education. There's things that there's just so many ideas that come out of our education environment, and we need to make sure that we're working both with students and around students to help improve those outcomes and make sure those outcomes happen more rapidly. And so our customers, and you're going to hear from a couple here shortly, tell us that cloud adoption helps them reduce costs, which can be reinvested into the schools. It helps improve security for the schools and their students. It frees up those resources that they need for innovation, which leads to improved student experiences and then ultimately to those student outcomes. But let you hear from an expert that really gets this, lives it and breathes it every day, and they can tell you more about their services, which is the Chief Executive Officer of Blackboard, Bill Ballhaus. So please welcome Bill to the stage to hear their story.
Thank you. Thanks, Teresa. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here today. I'm really excited to be able to share with you a little bit about the Blackboard story, our journey to the cloud, our partnership with AWS, and benefits that we're already being able to demonstrate to our clients. A little background on Blackboard. We were founded in 1997 as a disruptive, innovative firm focused on the online education space. And over the last 20 years, we've grown and developed a broad portfolio of solutions focused on student success, and we've built a global footprint that includes 16,000 clients in 90 different countries and 100 million users touching our system. You know, every day we're focused on delivering the benefits of our innovation, our technology, and our software into the hands of students, faculty, and administrators around the globe to drive student success, and with that, have the opportunity to have a positive impact on societies around the world. We have 4 major platforms. We have a teaching and learning platform that's intended to provide a wonderful learning experience for learners at institutions and in the workplace. We have community engagement solutions that bring together parents and teachers and students and communities to promote the success of students along their journey. We have a suite of student lifecycle solutions, analytics, and services that are used to help institutions meet enrollment challenges, retain students, and positively impact the journey of students along their progression. And then finally, we have a suite of payments and transaction solutions that enable students to live in a safe and secure environment, to make purchases, and to make tuition payments online. You know, our goal is to partner with our clients to solve their hardest problems, meet their strategic objectives, take on their toughest challenges. Given the breadth of our portfolio, when we meet with a client, we're not there to push a product. We're there to listen first and solve their hard problems. And as a result, the impact that we have around the globe can look very different. For instance, in countries in Latin America, we're enabling our clients to deal with the challenges of a rising middle class, and specifically the challenge of training millions of new students every year that just wouldn't be possible at scale and maintaining quality through traditional brick and mortar. In other parts of the world, like in South Africa, for example, we're allowing education to continue during periods of civil unrest where the universities are fundamentally locked down and shut down for security reasons, but because of our technology, faculty and students are able to continue to engage, and students can continue through their academic journeys. And here in the US, we're supporting our clients deal with a broad range of very strategic and disruptive challenges in areas like enrollments and retention, and helping non-traditional learners balance the demands of work, raising children, and pursuing their academic dreams. One of the major emerging challenges that we've experienced over time is an increasingly complex infrastructure tied to our global expansion, and the fact that over the last 10 years, we've completed 24 acquisitions. And we found ourselves with 32 data centers in 4 different continents, with 16,000 physical and virtual servers, and over 12 petabytes worth of data. And with that, a number of challenges associated with this complex infrastructure around capital requirements increasing, operational costs increasing, the difficulty in doing capacity planning, and fundamentally just the time and the attention of our leadership team focused on managing infrastructure and not focusing on innovating and developing new products for our clients. So about 18 months ago, as we wrapped up our annual strategy review, we decided that in order for us to increase our focus on developing and delivering outstanding products, providing our clients and our users with a delightful user experience, and being able to better innovate, that we would partner with a world leader in our journey to the cloud. Now, this was a very important decision for us, and we were very thoughtful in making this decision because the cloud infrastructure has a big impact on user experience, and it's the user experience that drives our clients' and students' perception of Blackboard. And I remember at the time, and literally, I think it was 1 year ago today that we entered into the partnership with AWS, closing my eyes and envisioning what this would look like and the impact that it would have on our clients and on our company. And I was thrilled with the opportunity and the notion of being able to bring a world-class technology stack and consistent and proven deployment and operations to our clients. The ability to deal with scalability challenges in an agile and efficient way. This is something that, just given the cyclic nature of the academic calendar, is a fundamental challenge for us. And we have a number of applications where the demand can be very difficult to try and predict, like plagiarism detection. We also could see that there was no way that we could match the pace of innovation and the customer service that we would experience through a partnership with AWS. And also, we could see the opportunity for us to move into new markets and serve new clients much faster and much more efficiently by leveraging the AWS existing infrastructure. So here we are. We're a year into it, early into our journey overall, but we're already seeing the benefits. For the applications that we've already moved to the cloud, and for our core learning management system clients, 200 that have made the progression to SaaS, they're seeing the benefits of continuous delivery of new features and functions and bug fixes, where in self-hosted and managed-hosted environments, they see releases twice a year. So rapid pace of innovation compared to prior experiences. We're seeing our clients be able to better focus in areas that result in a very distinct value proposition for their stakeholders, students. For example, one of our early adopters is the University of Arkansas at Monticello. They learned to move to SaaS last year. With that, they were able to move resources that were previously focused on managing infrastructure to focusing on user and specifically faculty adoption. And in one semester, they were able to grow the number of courses online by 300%. For us, we're already seeing an improved ability to meet unique customer requirements. One specific example, we have over 50 federal agencies as clients on our Blackboard Learn platform. Through a partnership we just announced with AWS GovCloud, we're able to meet their very unique and stringent security requirements while we're on a path to full FedRAMP accreditation. And through a partnership with AWS, we're able to offer our clients tremendous flexibility with respect to the timeline with which they move to the cloud and move to SaaS. We have a number of self-hosted clients and institutions that, for a variety of reasons, will want to stay self-hosted for a period of time, whether it's philosophical, whether it's driven by data and privacy protection. A number of our clients want to stay self-hosted. But when they're ready to move to the cloud, we're ready to support them. We just announced the Blackboard Cloud Center of Excellence, where we can bring best practices, AW expertise, to help our clients plan for the transition and then seamlessly migrate to the cloud and to SaaS. And I think a great example of this is last week, we moved 2 massive mission-critical enterprise applications that serve 1,000 clients within the US and process annually over $20 billion of tuition payments to the cloud seamlessly and without disruption. So, as I said, we're early into it, but we're already seeing the benefits. We're seeing our clients benefit from the move to the cloud in our partnership with AWS. We're seeing the simplification of our infrastructure from 32 data centers to 12 data centers in the near term and fewer in the future. But most importantly, we're better able to focus on what we uniquely can do best, and that's develop and deliver the benefits of our technology into the hands of students, faculty, and administrators to drive student success, and with that, and through our partnership with AWS, positively impact societies around the globe. For us at Blackboard, that's what it's all about. Thank you for your time this morning.
Another superpower. Wow. I love hearing the customer stories. I just can go home. It's just, they're so awesome. Our customers always do things, they tell the story so much better than we could any day of the week, for sure. And Blackboard is both a customer and a partner, and we've had a great experience working with our partners in many organizations around the world to deliver the best possible solutions and resources to our customers and bring cloud into new markets. And in fact, one of the whole purposes of this conference here is to make those connections and have you all network together and understand those experiences. Last year, we launched something called the AWS Cloud Institute. And it connects leaders across sectors to solve challenges and look for new ideas that include innovative cloud technologies. And it's been really, we've run about 5 of these segments across the world now. And every time I meet with these world leaders, it's like amazing outcomes. And the ideas, it's not just the problem, we're working on what are the solutions for these areas. We also do things like we host public data sets. We have Landsat 8 satellite data, and these satellite images, it's the image of the entire Earth, and it re-images the Earth every 16 days at roughly 30-meter resolution. And if you haven't seen that, it's actually very cool. Go to Earth on AWS, and you can watch this in real time, and you can learn more. Lots of schools are taking advantage of this. And this is another example of tools and data sets that we can put out there that allow individuals and researchers and students to take advantage of this. We have a grants program where we give away millions of dollars of grant credits to support our customers and partners doing these amazing projects, which fuels global research growth. And now we're launching cloud innovation centers. We have them around the world, including Bahrain, Busan. We have one at the U.S. Institute of Peace, and many, many more to come and on the way. But there's one that we haven't really talked about too much yet. And I want this individual, who's also a Kentucky native, I will say, come to the stage and share the story about what Cal Polytech Mustangs are doing with AWS. So please put your hands together and welcome to the stage Jeffrey Armstrong, the president of California Polytechnic Mustangs.
How's everyone doing? Isn't she wonderful? And you look wonderful today too. It's great to be with you to share a bit of information about our digital transformation. The way we really want to focus this is how do we future-proof Cal Poly? So first, let me comment and give you a bit of background about Cal Poly. First of all, we're part of the California State University system. This is the largest undergraduate system in the United States with over 470,000 students. And as you can see from the map, there are 23 campuses stretching from Humboldt in the north to San Diego State in the south. Cal Poly is centrally located pretty much halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles. We're known for our engineering, agriculture, architecture, business, many other programs. We've routinely, for the last many years, been named Best in the West as the best public master's university, according to U.S. News & World Report. We have around 21,500 students. 95% of our students are undergraduates. The remainder are master's students. They're admitted into their major, and every student has to complete a senior project. So think of Cal Poly as an honors program, and you jump right into your major. A key thing about Cal Poly, what's ingrained in our DNA, is learn by doing. The quote by Aristotle says it best: what we have to learn to do, we learn by doing. So our superheroes are our students, and they focus very hard on learn by doing. We focus on their success. Our placement rates are phenomenal, with 6 months after graduation, 94% doing what they want to be doing, with many majors almost 100% getting jobs before they graduate. So we're very excited today to talk about our strategic relationship with AWS. We're going to move our student success forward. We're all in with this technological platform, the best in class with AWS. We're confident that this is going to future-proof Cal Poly, so our students learn by doing will grow and grow. Think about learn by doing powered by the cloud. It's going to enhance innovation. The students are going to be even better equipped for the workforce of the future. Our students are going to continue to be involved in entrepreneurship. I'll mention a little bit later about AWS being involved in entrepreneurship. We also see it linked to economic development. We also want to be a beacon and a location where other members of the public sector can come in and learn. So our values line up so well with the focus on student success, innovation, and this entrepreneurial spirit. Great relationship that we're growing. Now, this is our kryptonite, aging infrastructure. We were faced with spending $8 to $10 million to replace a data center or leapfrog forward in technology, be agile, move forward, going with Amazon Web Services. And that's what we're doing. So this was not only a good decision for our students and our faculty and our staff, but it was a great business decision for us. It's going to allow us to move forward, be more agile, more innovation for our faculty and staff as well. And we know as we move into this, there's going to be as much cultural change as technological change. So again, aging infrastructure, needing to move forward and continue to be best in class in what we do, we partnered with best in class. And again, our focus is student success. This strategic relationship with AWS will allow us to remove the friction or significantly reduce the friction in learning. It's also going to provide an elevation in interdisciplinary work. Students in architecture and liberal arts and engineering working on the built environment, many others examples. I'm especially proud today to announce the formation of the Cal Poly Digital Transformation Hub powered by AWS. This is going to be a one-stop shop with AWS personnel, Cal Poly personnel, where students, faculty, staff, other members of the public sector, .gov.edu, lots of other individuals can come in and learn what we're learning. Think about what John was saying with the marketplace, the tools that are available. They're going to be able to do this. Let me give you a couple of examples. We have a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Students come forward with their startup ideas. They come forward over and over every year. This year, we just selected 16 companies, startups, not ready for angel investment. Our Cal Poly Digital Transformation Hub, powered by AWS, is going to work with each of those, and each of those 16 companies are going to receive AWS credits. Another aspect that's very important for us is how we move forward in cybersecurity. We're working with several agencies in California to build the California Cyber Training Center at a nearby National Guard location. One of the first pieces of this puzzle that we put together is the Central Coast Forensics Lab. Now you'll see I have a phone, an iPhone pictured. Well, when you think about crimes and hacking, that's one thing, but almost all crimes today of any sort have a digital component. So what our team has done, powered by AWS, they've developed a process where a phone can be cloned. It can be cloned in the cloud. The chain of evidence can be maintained, and a forensic examiner can look at it from multiple locations, still maintain that. Think about the power of the cloud for the gigabytes, terabytes of data from just an arrest of 5 individuals. This is extremely important, and we're very excited about this digital transformation hub. We see it, learn by doing, just exploding and moving forward. There are other areas where we see the digital transformation hub really taking off and having an impact. In the year 2050, we have to feed 10 billion people. California is central to agriculture. Agriculture, food systems are yet to be disrupted by the digital data analytics flood that has come forward in many other areas. Our hub is going to be central in helping us move that forward with data analytics. We're also very much involved in autonomous vehicles, aerospace. 6,000 of our 21,000 students are engineers, including computer scientists. We are also, as you can see in the bottom right, we're the birthplace of Cube satellites. These are small satellites that are launched. Many universities are involved, but we're the Houston. We monitor, we maintain all the data. We're the birthplace of these Cube satellites. Think about the power of the cloud and this digital transformation hub and what we can do. We're very excited about this journey. We're very excited to be partnered with the best-in-class AWS, and we look forward to the future. So thank you very much, and I'll turn it back to Teresa. Thank you.
Another great story. Can you believe the work they're doing? So many, the students are getting such an education there. So, who are these next generation of superheroes? They're all coming at us. Well, 2 years ago, it was May 2 years ago, we launched a program called AWS Educate. And I'm proud to say today, from AWS Educate, we now have over 1,000 educational institutions globally and the top 10 computer science programs enrolled in our AWS Educate program. And not only do we have all these universities now lined up, we also have our partners coming on board to help us with getting these students jobs once they get certified. So we're now taking these students through, and professors, the ability to use AWS, getting cloud credits, training, online support, crowdsourcing their content, and we're helping them curate it, to moving all the way through to helping them post their resume once they get certified through a career pathway to helping them get a job. And that's really our goal. And AWS, this is an amazing quote I love. AWS Educate helps us power a robust 15-unit, 4-course cloud curriculum that offers industry-relevant training to our students. And this is Dean of the Workforce of Economic Development at Santa Monica College. And not only are we doing AWS Educate with universities and schools, but now we're working with our true heroes, our veterans. And could we please give our veterans a big round of applause? We love what they're doing. I just wanted to share, we're continuing to add logos here because these are really important. We've done everything from Restart in the UK, where we're training veterans in the UK, to our Joining Forces effort, to Cyber Virginia, where we have a partnership in Virginia to train and certify. And then my own team, which I'm so proud of, started doing veteran training, week-long veteran training and certification, that now we've just turned over to our training team, and we're bringing in different cohorts. And not only that, again, our goal is to not just train them, but help them to get jobs, because we need them to continue to help get jobs. And now let me talk about something near and dear to my heart for a long time. It's important to stay fully engaged at all levels in terms of potential talent. And we're supporting efforts in something now we call We Power Tech, which is about diversity and talent inclusion. And for me, I have a special near and dear place in my heart for young girls, to try to ensure that we're working with them really early to get them excited about tech, because we absolutely have a gap. So we want to engage. And there's a couple things I wanted to share. One is we've just created a partnership with here in Washington, D.C., with the DC Economic Partnership on Pathway Scholarship, which is about underprivileged, underserved youth, to help get them training and certification. And then I thought I would spend a moment and let you see a video about our program called We Power Tech. And we had a booth that was just crazy yesterday, I saw. We already ran out of t-shirts. So let's roll the video on We Power Tech.
Diversity in technology is still the exception, and it needs to be the norm. And the only way that's going to switch is when more people start following what they're truly interested in. So if you like math, if you like science, if you like programming, that's what you should do. You shouldn't let anyone tell you that you are or are not, you're not a majority or a minority in a certain field. It should be completely based on what you're interested in and what drives you and motivates you.
I think technology today is so much easier than it was when I went to school. We had to read books, we didn't really have the internet. So if there's time for a young person to get into technology, it's now.
If you are passionate about any area, whether it's environment or health, technology could be definitely your entry point to that field.
Be bold. Don't let barriers or hurdles slow you down, right? Run through them.
I would say don't limit yourself. Think about the endless possibilities that are afforded to you in the IT industry. Think about this is an environment that's not going anywhere. IT is here to stay. So it's one of those things that you just have to get on board, because you don't really want to be left behind.
So that's the link. So join in and tell your story about We Power Tech. And then I think you should hear from one of the real, true super tech stars of the future. I met this young girl when she was 13. Her mother came and grabbed me. I was at T.J. Williams High School. She said, I want you to meet my daughter. She's all about coding and tech. And I said, okay, I want to meet her. Well, believe it or not, she and I have had numerous exchanges, and it wasn't until yesterday that I actually got to meet this amazing rising senior now at T.J. Williams. So if you could please put your hands together and welcome with me Kavya Kopapru, a senior at T.J. High School, Science and Technology. Kavya, come to the stage. About your story.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kavya Kopapru. I'm 16 years old and a junior at Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology in Alexandria. And today, I would like to share my journey in computer science and technology with you. So in the summer after my freshman year of high school, I had just completed AP Computer Science and observed that there were not as many girls in upper-level computer science classes as there were boys. And so I really wanted to do something to fix this problem, and so I started Girls Computing League, which is a nonprofit organization working to empower girls in middle and high school to pursue computer science. And I had contacted Ms. Carlson, asking if she was going to be a supporter of my organization when I first started it 2 years ago. And over the years, she's become so much more than just a supporter. She's become my mentor and my role model in so many different ways. And her motivating response to Girls Computing League really fueled my confidence and helped me to create more programs in Girls Computing League to expand to more students. So with a group of volunteers, we've held workshops at the DC Housing Authority and for students at the Children's Science Center. We've held professional development sessions for teachers to be able to incorporate computer science into their curriculum, no matter what subject that they taught. And we did that in partnership with the Tiger Woods Foundation. And so through these experiences, I've learned that the barriers for students from underprivileged backgrounds is not a lack of passion or a lack of interest in the subject, but it's a lack of resources. And what I've found through Girls Computing League is that many of these students don't have access to internet at home or computer science curriculum in their classes. And this is a huge problem that we really need to solve. Because if we don't bring these resources to them, we're going to be missing out on a huge portion of the future innovation that they will accomplish. And that brings us to the solution. So the key to nurturing the interests of these students is through their teachers. Impacting teachers builds a legacy of inspiration for years to come. And I've experienced this phenomenon through my own computer science teacher, Ms. Rio Galanos, who's inspired so many students in the TJ community. And so what I propose is a partnership between technology professionals such as yourselves and elementary, middle, and high school teachers. Partner professionals can come talk to classes about their journey, their passion, and what their job is about. Show teachers ways that they can incorporate technology into their curriculum and how they can inspire students. Because students really need role models, they need supporters, they need mentors to be able to pursue their passions. And so my concluding remarks to you all today is that the power of inspiration is in your hands. Your knowledge, your experience, your journey, these are all things that we students would love to hear and talk to you about. So together, we can work on making the field of technology an opportunity for students of all ages, all genders, all races, and all backgrounds. Thank you.
Isn't that awesome? Wow. She's awesome.
Couldn't have done it without you.
So her mom and dad are here in the audience, so wave to them. And Jeffrey Armstrong is already trying to recruit her to Cal Polytech, so I don't think she's going to have a problem with that. Last year I tried to get her here, and she said, Ms. Carlson, I've started my first day of internship at MITRE. I don't think I can come. I was like, okay, next year. But thank you. So I love that she did a couple of things. I think that's really important. She not only told us what she was doing, and she gave us the problem, but she gave us the solution and a call to action. And I think if you all paid attention, there was a lot in there that she gave in that very short time frame, which was really, really good. And we have for you a We Power Tech. And so we got to start putting your stories that you collect on our We Power Tech site, okay? Yeah. And we're going to get you to reinvent. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Keep it up. You hear me? Thank you. Thank you. Isn't that awesome? I love that. Wow. So inspiring. I could have never done that at her age. I'm like, she's so confident. Well, we're down to the wire. We're ending this up. Once again, thank you all for joining us here in our 7th year. I can't believe it. Go into the rest of your day. Have a great time. We're going to have a really fun party tonight. So I hope you'll come dancing with us tonight. We're going to dance, and we have all kinds of stuff planned there. And ask your sales rep about reInvent registration, because we have pre-sales. And by the way, public sector was ahead. Around the world, public sector, you guys were buying more tickets. So keep it up. And remember, you all are our superheroes. So go make the world a better place. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you.